Hello friends, welcome back. Let's take another look at LINK. Thank you so much for joining me yesterday. Yesterday's video was quite a good one, and we will try and repeat that effort today. So here we are, and we're looking at it. We've got the Bitcoin prices up behind me, and we'll take a look at the dollar prices in just a second. I'll give you a glimpse of them so you know that we will. We're at 45,500 just now, more or less, in terms of the Bitcoin prices, and we're at $3.25 in terms of the US dollar prices. So welcome back to the show. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm Rocky Outcrop, your pal. We do daily technical analysis on Yawn Cryptos over here. So what are we looking at in terms of the prices? We've come up past this 50% area at 4,544. Words struggling. So 45,000 here satoshis for this for on LINK, and that's great. That was our sort of profit taking target. The price has actually been as high as 46,600, and now we're back down here at, sort of asking the question: is this going to be support for now, or will we actually have had people taking profit in this zone just here, and are we going to come back down and find a higher low over the next wee while? That's kind of what we're looking at for now. How are we shaping up in terms of these moving averages? Well, the 21, which is this yellow line, the exponential moving average, is coming up towards the 55. I'd like to see these cross over and continue with their upward slope. That would be good. This of course is the daily chart, where you came up above the 50 moving simple average there when we went above 40,000. That's very good. It's currently down there towards 40,070. In fact, all the moving averages currently on the 24-hour time frame that we bother to look at really are below us, and that's all very good. So they're not spread out perfectly in terms of like that sort of bullishly fanned out. With the 21, we need to cross back over the 50 here first of all before that happens. Is that the 50 or the 55 I've got on it? The 55. Regardless, that'll be that. If the prices actions stays anywhere above the sort of 38,000 level over the next wee while, then that's kind of inevitable to happen. So things are looking quite good. We've got a lot of room to the downside in terms of breathing space if we needed to put in a higher low before things would actually turn bearish again, which is nice, having been in a really big bearish downward annoyance for ages. That's what that pattern's called there. It's called an annoyance. And and in terms of the divergence or whatever possible to be seen on here, there isn't. It's still too early to say. Like I say, we haven't got, I said in yesterday's episode as well, haven't got this sort of a local high in quite yet. When that does happen, I'm going to try and not to panic too much about things. And we have had profit-taking targets in and around these areas. So, I'm not a financial advisor, that's financial advice. If you're holding on to anything looking for that sort of 47,000, don't particularly blame you. But on the other hand, we could have actually just had that up there at 46,500 for the sort of slightly less greedy people in that sense, and come back down to these levels just for now. But who knows? Like overall, it's a positive trend, and that's very, very good. In fact, we've in terms of the actual DMI we use to talk about the trend, in terms of our analog here for this, we can see the ADX sloping towards the upside, very good. Diversion away in all counts, very good. The blue line, the positive, up towards the positive side, that's good, and the ADX above 20 as well itself, above 25 or wherever you put it. You can choose where you want to have that. That's up at 28 at the minute, so it's above a fair few numbers. In terms of the MACD as well, same sort of scenario overall, looking fairly good really in general just now. So that's very good. Our profit taking targets, like I say, to reiterate again, towards the upside would be that 48,000 area. 48,000 to 50,000 would be lovely jubbly. Then towards the downside, you've got 43,000 and 42,000, and then where the 50 moving average is coming in at, 50 simple moving average, where there also is another 50% retrace in there at 40,500, would be an area to keep an eye out for overall in terms of how you want to play this. Of course, not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. You could potentially look to that as being an area for a long, perhaps, or to take profit on a short should we actually see the prices continue down. So what we're seeing in terms of the dollar prices, and it's more or less the same story, which is quite nice, makes things handy. In terms of oscillators, same story. This trend type thing is, we're not quite seeing, it's not quite there yet in terms of really diverging up away from each other, but that's great. Everything's great. We've crossed over the top here. Things are looking towards the upside. That's lovely jubbly. Of course, as well, in terms of, you know, the other one, the Bitcoin one, had a little bit more room for like sort of, you know, having your higher low come in at without crossing back down the wave. Not got quite as much room here, but the ADX is up there up above 30. So, you know, let's just see if we can sort of catch that wave or whatever they talk about in terms of surfing. Which, you know, it's got nothing to do with what we're doing, but here, you know, decent enough analogy or something. So right here we are, and where's the 21 coming in at right now? And this chart is way down there below the 200 simple as it happens. There's that white dotted line below the 233 moving average. It's that purple line below the green 55 and below the white side or the blue cyan line, which is admittedly hard to see given that I've got blue lines on the chart, fair enough, and the 50 simple up there. So what does that kind of say to us at the minute, with the 21 being, you know, below all the other major moving averages? Well, it's got this big curve on it at the minute, which is quite nice to see. It would be good to see it coming through and crossing back through all of these, but we know that this price action has been kind of like fairly rapid, and that it's and that of course as part of it all, you know, at some point you could see a correction here, and the 21 would still have plenty of room to go on up towards the upside as things are happening and all crossing around, and all this sort of positive story could happen in the face of a degree of negative price action. You know, it could happen. So that's sort of to be aware of, but everything's looking quite good. You know, we're above the 50 simple moving average and all the other ones. Below us we've got that $3 itself working as a sort of price point, you know, $3.05, $3.08, whatever that is, and we know that would be an inflection point anyway in the market and things, so that would be something to keep an eye on. And then further down from that, the next sort of two targets that you could potentially have in mind would be where we've got the 618 of this Fibonacci retracement here. If we were to come back down and retest that before going on up again, sure, and then this horizontal line at 280. Overall though, like I say, things are looking good. Similar story here in terms of those oscillators, and in terms of the 4 hours. I suppose actually this is maybe where things are a little bit more interesting. Let's see, is this divergent? It's not divergent, that's good to see. So there's no bearish divergence there. It looked like there might have been for a second. Oh, that's the wrong one. Stochastics, well the stochastics has it, so you know, be aware. And of course, you know, these are kind of converging a little bit, ever so slightly divergent on the DMI positive, and the MACD has a touch of it. So there we go. Let's have a wee quick jump back over to Bitcoin and look at the same thing. Not sure if I did or not. Yeah, it looks like the stochastic's got the same chat there. MACD doesn't, that doesn't, and that doesn't. So no, the Bitcoin price pairing's looking pretty good, and the dollar pairing looks like it could have some. So you could actually see that all happen. And if there's a little bit of a pullback in the Bitcoin price, for instance, the link trend could continue to the upside against Bitcoin, I suppose, theoretically, while the dollar price actually has a little bit of a pullback, all with that sort of triumvirate dichotomy. It's not dichotomy, whatever. You know what I'm getting at, that three-way thing, that menage a trois. Yeah, so on that note, merci for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, and arrivederci, which is Italian. So there we go, switching between countries, true European over here. Catch you in the next episode.